Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video, and we are nearing the start of the new event, which is tomorrow, and we've had our update notes. There's some stuff in here that could be better, to be honest. Going by the wording, I'm hoping that they've made a mistake with the wording, but we'll talk about it when we get to that section of the update details, right? So let's go over the update. So tomorrow, here are the changes from the most recent update. It feels like there's less detail here than normal, right? But whatever. New character in trial. Oni and his limited time trial added. We'll also have an event, right? That will have various different things. So we've got that. We knew we were getting that, right? Now, we've got a big list of upcoming events, and they've actually put more on here than normal. So we'll go through them, and then I'll talk about what I think's going to actually happen here, right? So we're going to have the Oni event. I'll put it down here, right? We're going to have secret training. I think that will probably come tomorrow, just with where it's sitting on this list. We've got Lucky Treasure, which is the key thing. I don't think many people actually like that, but hey, it is what it is. Trial of Justice, Top Picks. It's just the thing where they sell stuff that nobody buys. Rose's Divination, so I think that'll probably come in 2 weeks at the end of the event. We'll probably get Rose's Divination starting. It'll be interesting to see if we get Sagat in there, which would be nice. We'll also have Draft mode Surging, so that's just the theme of the draft mode. So I think unless they drop draft mode and Rose's Divination during the Oni event, which I doubt, we'll probably get that happening in 2 weeks' time. Incredible rewards, HWA, I expect that to come the week after the draft, and Boodle Battle, that'll probably line up at the same time, and then Path of Trials and City Pursuit, right? So if we take all of that stuff there, so we'll have our event that will last for 2 weeks. That will take us to the start of October. Then we'll do 2 weeks into October, doing 1 week events at a time. And then we'll go into our next big event, which I think, going with streaming times and stuff like that, I think it will be the Turtles. I've said this for a while now. I think this is finally going to be when we get them. So we'll have all that. What I also think is going to happen then is, because they're going to do a week that's going to be draft, and then a week that's going to be HWA, I think we'll get standalone summons for those weeks. So it's pretty hard to predict what we could get, right? But I think we'll probably end up getting something like a factional unit, a new master or inferno, and we will probably also get a, maybe we'll get another legendary unit, because I think Ken actually did okay, which means I think they're not too hesitant about doing more of those. Usually I would predict what I think the units are going to be. It's kind of hard though, because I don't know if they're going to do a legend or not, and if they do a legend, are they going to change an existing legend and make them into a factional unit? So I'm going to throw out my predictions just now. Now, I'm not taking these to the bank. Usually I'm quite confident in my predictions, but right now I'm up in the air about them. But I'm going to throw out who I think is probably going to come, and you know what? Screw it. I'll just say what I think we're probably looking at. So I think, going with how they've lined things up, the fact that when we did finally get a new factional unit again, despite just getting the special summon, which was a wind unit, we still got another wind unit, because that was the longest like we had been without getting one, so it was due. So if I use that same logic, it should be a flame unit. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be Flame Adon. I think that's who we'll probably get for a factional character. If they do give us a legendary unit, I kind of hope that they actually keep this as it kind of is. Looking at PW, I think it's most likely to be, if they keep it a legendary unit, I think it's most likely to be Flame Dalsim. I think that is who is most likely to come out and be a legendary unit. The only other unit I can really think of off the top of my head that might come along and be a master unit, if they do a standalone master unit, would be Honda. There's a Honda that's all done up in a suit, kind of like a fashion Honda. I think he could potentially be a master unit, but I think Honda and Dalsim are kind of interchangeable there. They might make Honda a legend and make Dalsim a master. And if they do bring out an Inferno, I think it will be Balrog. But to be honest, I think there's a kind of running joke that we're not all in on going, and I think they're just going to make us wait for Balrog. I think honestly Balrog is just like a white whale at this point, who might not even come to next year by the looks of things, but who knows. So this is the thing down here I want to talk about. Miscellaneous changes. Duplicates of... I got excited about this at first when I read it. Duplicates of Wind, Thunder, Flame, special fighters. Now that's the part I didn't notice at first. That have reached maximum grade can be used to awaken the same faction fighters, right? So at first I got excited. I thought, you know what, finally, they've given us a reason that we can get rid of all these damn dupes that we've got absolutely nothing we can do with, that's clogging up our box. So if you had someone like me, who has this guy down here, don't have any more copies, click him, instead of getting more copies of him, you could just feed in all of these wind units I've got sitting there and get him up to max level. Now that would have been awesome, right? But if you look at the wording of the goddamn message that they've given us, it quite clearly states special fighters. Now, if we go in here, that's special fighters. So it's talking about, right now, Elena, right? If you've got duplicate copies of Elena after having her as SSS 5, any duplicate copies you could use to level up your normal factional units, if they stick to the wording, right? And if that's what they do. Now, interestingly enough, they have said Flame, Thunder and Wind, so I'm assuming that means that they are planning to do more of the factional fighters that are going to be limited, right? But ultimately that to me is a useless update, because I mean, unless you get lucky or unlucky, I suppose, on your final summon when you need one copy, why would you have dupes of Elena, for example, after she's SSS plus 5? There's no reason for you to have dupes of her. It doesn't make any sense why you would have dupes for her. For units like maybe Trendy Cami, Jury, Rose, stuff like that, it makes sense for you to have copies of them that you can use in, for example, the exchange pool or substitution pool, because you get them from boxes and stuff like that, so that makes sense. But for you to have duplicate copies of a character like Elena makes no real sense. And then as well, when you level units, so it says you can use them on any factional unit. So if we go into training, awaken, if I click on a unit that is maybe not SSS, is there any? There you go, Akuma, right? I'm just using Akuma as an example. I'm not going to do anything to Akuma here, right? So when they're A, one copy of Akuma would level him up to A+, right? So if this was a factional unit, it would be one copy of the same factional unit would raise them up to A+, right? They're saying any unit would be able to do that now, right? If they're a special fighter. So just for talking sake, if I had a duplicate copy of Elena and this was a normal factional unit that was Wind, I could give that one copy of Elena and then level them up one level, right? But if they're at this grade, so we'll get rid of this, if they're at this grade, right, you need to feed in units that are A+ units. So you would need to have duped Elena, you would need like 2 copies of Elena fed together to get that A+ Elena to even use her to feed into something like this. So realistically, on your final summon when you were trying to max out Elena, you would have had to have got lucky, unlucky, however you want to view it, and pulled 3 copies so that you had that one copy you needed to finish off the unit and then 2 additional copies. So I mean, to me, unless this is a mistake in wording and they just mean any factional fighter, this is a completely useless update. It makes no sense, it's completely useless. If they had added in Master and Inferno, it wouldn't be so useless, because we could then do things like in the shop, even though we've maybe got our maxed out, we could buy copies of Jury, combine them together, use them to level up a character like, say, Akuma, or not Akuma, but Evil Ryu or Bison or whatever, right? That would make a bit more sense, because at least with these type of units, we have a way of getting a hold of them out with summoning. But if it's just going to be special fighters like it says, then who's ever going to use that? It literally makes no sense. It does not help with the situation of having too many units in our box we have to clear out. It's like quite literally a pointless addition, if that is what it is. And if you are someone who can take advantage of this, you're summoning wrong, because you've continued to summon a unit that you've maxed out. Like, why would you do that? It's completely pointless. I really hope that's a mistake, and I hope that it is just literally any factional unit, but it quite clearly states special fighters. And again, if we look here, they need this tag to be a special fighter. So to me that seems like an absolutely dumb, stupid update that I do not understand the logic behind. It's not going to help anyone. It's dumb. It's super dumb. Anyway, Starlight Genesis event progress bar can be clicked while animations play. Okay, awesome. Cool. Thank you for your patience during our maintenance. We hope you are excited for the new character and content and the new update. I'm excited because I get to make loads of videos tomorrow, so hey. I'm also excited to see if they actually copy what they did with Elena and we get 2 copies for free. And if you are a low spender, maybe, you get a chance to buy that pass that guarantees you 2 copies, because in that circumstance, you would basically have only up to, what, S+, I think? No, wait a minute, if you have 4 copies, if you pull 1 copy of Oni, 2 copies for free, that would put them to S+, 2 more copies plus 1. Yeah, you'd be able to put them to S, no, A+, with 2 copies. That would leave you with 2 copies. That would put them to S. So you could put them up to S, basically, which would mean you would only then require summoning of... I totally forget the numbers on this. My brain is just dead. You would need to summon... You would start from here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I mean, it's still a lot of copies, right? But it's 10 rather than the 15 that you would have needed beforehand. 14 additional, sorry. So hopefully we do get that, because if we do get that, it means that they are hopefully setting a standard, and then come the turtles, if they are what's coming, hopefully, we would hopefully get the same thing. And at that point, I think is a good time to use your Starlight that you might have. And if we look at the exact same scenario, so you get 2 copies, plus you can buy 2 copies from the past, that would put you here. You can use 2 of your Starlight, you've got that one done. And then by that point, you should have earned another Starlight from potential like countdown rewards. That would mean you've done that. Then you would only have to summon 6 copies. Just saying, if they actually set a new standard, that would be very positive, but we need to wait and see. It's just speculation at this point, but we do need to wait and see. But anyway, that is the update. That's what we've got. Plenty of content tomorrow, hopefully. Should have a guide for the trial, should have a guide for whatever the event is, maybe a boss battle. And if the event itself is given 3 copies of the unit or whatever, we'll go over that. And if this new awakening system is better than it appears through the description, we'll cover that. If it sucks, I'll cover that as well, because you know what? They need to realise that if this is just special fighters, they're literally adding something to the game that's pointless. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I've been Hayzink, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.